Okay, so for final project, here is the process. I sent out the announcement as well. There's a few processes you need to worry about. The first thing is try to find the area that you're interested in. So what do I mean by that? I'm kind of vague. Is if you look at this word, is something which is kind of big words, and sometimes you feel, oh, this is probably too much for me. So this process is hard because there's so much possibility in each of the big area. So let me actually tell you that based on my experience, how this should work. So number one, are there in your life some topics that's either inspiring you or bothering you? Are there such an issue based on your experience, based on your the situation you're in? And this is sometimes I said is driven by your experience, or is driven by whatever your passion on that. So that's actually very important, because that will trigger you to look into each of the area, and that is actually will almost guarantee a really successful project in that sense. So once you have that kind of interesting, you will see that the reason, for example, you have 4 people, they're both interested in the second area, food, agriculture, health, and environment. But they actually come in from different inspiration or different experience. They have some positive, some negative. So then you actually start to talk to each other. And of course, this part should be confidential, because some of the issue that's actually very, very personal. But you start to influence each other on the topic. And at some point, I will join you if you allow me, and such that I can actually help you to kind of shape whatever you think you have into something which is something is actually more doable, more manageable. So essentially, you have the vision, you have the passion, and I just actually help you to make it more realistic, more focused. I like to use not just realistic, but focus on something. Let me give you an example. For example, you might be actually thinking about your personal experience on something. And I actually look at this, I will say, hey, if you want to solve this problem, there's a one key component which you should look at. So I will make that suggestion to you. And then you actually then focus, instead of look at the whole issue, which is very vague, then you look at something which is more smaller, is a critical step to solve that bigger problem in this quarter at least. And you can think about why that is innovative. Number one, your experience is actually something very valuable. See, we all live through our life, and we all experience a lot of good thing and bad thing. And those things are very precious. Nobody else duplicate exactly the same. So I want you to actually search through your own heart, search through your own mind, and think about something which is really inspiring you. That's actually one thing from the area pushed to a topic. Let me actually tell you the other things I want to say is that once you get to that point, in fact, your project is already done. The rest is just applying some of the ethic analysis principle to that. In my opinion, that is actually easier. To recognize what is the important problem is the most critical thing. In fact, I think that process is really my instructor objectives. I want all of you to actually run through that process. Sometime you will realize you have the leadership. You actually influence other people, the other 3 teammates, to actually follow your passion. And sometimes you learn how to follow other people's passion. And sometimes more important, how do you actually teamwork? You kind of both I don't want to use the word compromise, but you realize how aggregate both passion and find out something, be able to solve both issues that you're interested in. Okay, for example, you can think about if I'm recommending food, am I going to recommending health? And maybe there is a work. What's the intersection? Is a recommendation system in general about issue that personally important to them. So for example, that is the how do you actually identify that? Okay. The other thing which I want to mention is that if I actually go talk to you guys, I will actually also try to find out what is controversial. What is controversial? Because this is my belief. If something is too black and white already, it's still good. Okay, I'm not saying it's not good, but it's kind of you learn less from dealing with a problem. It is actually controversial. I mean, for example, the last hour I talked about the idea about news media. And you can see that the word fake news is being used so much by politicians. And fake news was used by a lot of contexts. And until now, I don't see anybody provide, at least to me, a satisfied definition for fake news. I mean, of course, this is completely fake, I understand. And this is completely true, I understand. But a lot of the news media, if you look at that, is basically analyze the evidence and provide an interpretation, the best honest interpretation that particular person can provide with some amount of veil of ignorance. And obviously people can say that's fake news. I mean, unfortunately, some of the news media, the whole news media being say that is a fake news, which I think I might not agree with that particular media's position, but I cannot easily say that they're actually fake. So this has been a huge issue about, it's a controversial. And let me actually tell you that how do you actually address this issue to actually be able to understand the ethical issue to distribute information is still a controversial issue. And how do you actually do that? I can talk more about that example if you're interested in that, but right now I want to just stop here. Hopefully that gave you some idea about the process you need to go through. So let me ask again in the room, okay, as well as in the three students from remote, have you actually already determined your interest in those 4, or even you have other area you're interested? How many, by the way, let me just probe, let's show hands so you know who's interested in what. You can raise your hand multiple times, okay? If you're interested in the first category, information such as fake news, such as recommendation of information about social interaction, if you're interested in this topic, please raise your hand. Okay, there's a few, oh, it's all aggregate here. Okay, that's convenient. Okay. Anybody interested in the second area related to food, agriculture, health? That's our societal priority. Okay, we have a few people interested in that as well. Okay, and how about like a smart technology sensor? Okay, there's a lot of people. Okay, great. I mean, how about remote student? Okay, Chong Han, raise your hand. Thank you. How about fintech? Okay. You're going to work on by yourself? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, fintech is actually getting yeah. Yeah. So let me actually, that's a good question. I was reading a news yesterday. By the way, a lot of the time when I taught this course, I actually got inspired by the news. But what happened in the world, and then decide what's interesting I can share with you. I think the newest one, I don't know when I can talk about this, but there are two things I'm interested. The first thing is about investment. So you probably know that we actually gave money to the financial broker or mutual fund, and they're using this money to do other things. And the thing is that, how do we know that whether that whatever they're doing with the money is ethical or not? So that is interesting, because I'm essentially unknowingly, I'm actually funding some of that activity. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there was a scandal. This happened 10 years ago, but I just realized this. We probably know a lot of this kind of what do you call that? Charity foundation. They're actually getting money. This particular one, they actually got money from all the high profilers, including Gates Foundation. You probably know Bill and Melinda Gates. They have a foundation. They're so passionate. A few years ago, I have some idea. I want to propose to Gates Foundation, and then my colleague told me that don't worry, they're only interested in Africa right now. Okay, so they want to give money to do a lot of good things in Africa. Guess what? There is a scandal. There is somebody from Pakistan, is a businessman, who actually collect a few $1 billion around the world. They claim they want to do using this foundation to do a lot of good things. It turned out it's just all the money is given to a few executives to live a luxury life. And the real work to help is is not much compared. It's totally against the intention about those donors. And that is something which is, you can think about, yes, I have a good heart to put in money, including Bill Gates. And they really want to help people. And you think about that motive got abused in that way. And so the thing is, now I'm thinking with both the story share one commonality. What I want to do is I want to trace the money. If I want to give the money to you, I want to know how this money was spent exactly. And I think I don't care about other people's money, but my money either is an investment bank or is a charity foundation. I need to do that. It used to be, it's hard because it's so tedious and I cannot know that. But traceability right now is actually doable. The information technology is thanks for all of you. You learn all this hard work in doing programming, doing data analytics, doing IoT. Now you can do IoT on the money flow. And I think that need to be more transparent. Okay, I mentioned the idea about Panama paper and the Paradise paper. You know what those paper is? Those are money laundry. The thing is that there's, I don't know how many journalists, they actually stole, I will use the word, they just stole all the information. So they actually expose who are actually doing what in terms of money laundering in Virginia Island or whatever, those places. And that is, you think about that is basically people try to evade the traceability of their financial activity. And it's horrible. They want to, the best case, they just want to evade tax. The worst case, they basically laundry a lot of dirty money from one of the place was in Nigeria. Okay, I want to talk about a little bit about Nigeria. Any of you actually from Nigeria or have a family member from Nigeria or friends? You know, Nigeria, their GDP is about the same as Ecuador. about the same. But the 99% or 90% or 99%, I need to quote the number, a huge percent of the people in Nigeria, they're actually below poverty line. Guess what? Because all the money is aggregate to corrupt leader in that group. And they allow, for example, Shell. You probably know Shell station, right? The Shell station that they actually, what they call externalize their environment pollution. So they basically bribe the Nigeria politician to allow them to actually using a lot of operation without worry about environment and pollution, and so they can actually make money. So sometimes ethical is important, is that we didn't actually take any hit in terms of the environmental pollution, but there was somebody in Nigeria did all that. And that's actually horrible. In fact, there was a group of people from Nigeria, they tried to protest that. Guess what's their outcome? They all got executed by the Nigerian government. And that is horrible. This is Shell, and also the other company, Italian oil company. I mean, it's all this big company cooperate. Like, for example, Shell, what they did is they hire, who do you think they hire as their executive? They hire somebody who was an ambassador of certain country. They hire them so they can actually have a channel to the government to do that kind of work. That's another thing. It's all about traceability. Of course, the Nigeria money, dirty money, actually go to Panama paper, and purchase $1 million houses in Southern California. So it's very related. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's actually later. I'll show you some of the situation happened there. Yeah. And by the way, this work is all done by investigative journalism. We should give them credit. They risk their life to expose all this issue. But now they're being squeezed by social algorithms. I feel bad about them as well. Yeah. Okay, so any question from all of you from remote over here? Okay, so in that case, I want to find, because I know that you have more interest, except the fourth one, fintech. The first three all have a few students. I'm actually looking for in the room. I'm sorry for the remote. Maybe three of you can actually talk to each other on this issue. I might be, maybe I put a breakout room for three of you over there. For student over here, can I ask one of you who want to be a leader in area number one in terms of information or social algorithm area? Anybody want to be the leader for that? What I plan to do is I'm going to split the student over here in three groups. One group number one, one group number two, but I want a leader. And then people just join the leader for discussion, not saying that you will be a group, but just explore, and then I can go around. Anybody here want to be a leader for group number one? Okay, good, thank you. What's your name? RJ. Okay, RJ will be. RJ, how do I spell your name? Thank you. I'm thinking about ARJY or something like that. RJ. Okay. Okay. Who want to be? Thank you. Thank you, RJ. Yeah, that's good. That's also yeah, I like that. All right. Who want to be number two? Group number two. Anybody? RK or whatever. Nobody want to be group number two? Just for today, right? Just for today. I just will gather people around you. So I'm going to separate the student into 3 groups. So you can actually discuss about each of the areas, share about your interests, or just actually talk about who you are. And potentially you can work together in that area, okay? Anybody want to be group number 3? Okay, thank you. What's your name? Okay. I will just put JE, okay? I don't want to include the whole name. Yeah, JE, yeah, okay. All right, so we have 2 groups. I will, okay, let's not worry about group number 2 unless somebody wants to do group number 2. One last second. So can RJ, you move over here, and then Jet, you will be there. And then all the people want to do group number 3 gather around Jet, and whoever want to do group number, and then I will actually run robin between those 2 groups. Okay, so you go either RJ or Jet. Okay,